Hi Taurus, welcome to your week ahead Tauroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby or a new subby, thank you so much for all of your support. It really does mean the world. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. If you haven't got yours yet, the winter solstice alignment activation session, there are still seats. We are getting ever closer to the solstice itself, and we're getting ever closer to that conjunction that is happening next year. It's going to be a big, huge year next year for all of us in some way, shape or form. Make sure you get yours and make sure you start your year off right. I would like to bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's have a look, see what the week ahead has in store for you. So when I went into my intuition, what I saw was a cylinder, right? So a cylinder is, it's a round thing that goes upward. Right, and then what I heard was it's a circle, and there was kind of like this mini battle going on of like, well, it's a cylinder, well no, it's a circle. Now as an example, right, if you were to draw an egg on a piece of paper, you could call it an egg or you could call it an oval. They're still the same thing, right? This week there may be an energy that surrounds you, interestingly enough, and I feel like this might be around your partnerships, personal relationships, either work colleagues or your personal partner, like the person that you're with. If you're single, it's probably going to be your colleagues, right? This is not a week for you to be pedantic. This is not a week for you to split hairs. The reason being, you could get into you could get into a pantomime this week, right? Oh no, it isn't. Oh yes, it is, and it could really escalate out of all proportion and over something really, really small. And it's interesting because this seems to have been a theme that's been popping up sporadically for you over the last 2 months. Every week you have a similar sort of, well, not every week, but every few weeks there seems to be this energy that pops up. And I'm looking at it this week, and it's kind of, it really could be that if somebody meets you with something that you think, oh well, do you know what, this is the middle of the toothpaste, right? Some people like to squeeze the whole tube, some people like to roll it from the bottom. In the grand scheme of life, does it really fucking matter? Probably not. So this week, if you find something happen like this, and the reason I say this is because Taurians, you guys tend to do everything by the book. Do you know what I mean? When you do something, you do it well, you do it properly, you do it right. And that's one of the things that I love about Taurus. It's because I have this mentality. It's taken me a while to get there, but you guys are naturally born with it. Do it right. Do it properly the first time, and you don't have to go back and do it again. Not everybody has that mentality, and it could be that this week you do something and somebody says, oh, well, what about da-da-da-da? And you're like, it's the same thing, and I've done it the right way. And it can really get to you. Or you could see somebody do something and you're like, no, honey, that doesn't work for us, right? And it could be that you see it and you're like, just do it the way that I'm telling you to do it. If that person's making a mistake or they're doing something wrong, you've got to let them learn it on their own this week, because it will escalate out of all proportion. It's just not worth the hassle, right? Stand back, leave it be, let them do their thing. Your cards this week, all right, your destiny card for the week ahead is the Death card, right? Interesting, very interesting, because your month ahead had very similar messages to this, so I'm intrigued, right? There is something this week coming to an end or coming to a close, right? Whenever you see the Death card, there is an ending, there's a completion or a transition that's about to take place. And it feels for me like some of you might be saying, do you know what, I wipe my hands of this, I've had enough. Do whatever the you want, and when it comes crashing down, don't come crying to me. Now, the interesting thing about that is Taurians will say that, but then when it goes wrong, they'll be one of the first people there to come and help you clean up the mess, right? So think about it. Well, I say think about it. You've got the death card. So the chances are this week, when you say you're done, when you say you're walking away from something, do you know what? Let the chips fall how they may. This week you actually mean it. It's almost like you've already made the decision, because when you see the death card, the decision's already been made, right? It means that the end has already come. Now you're just going through the process of allowing it to unfold. Your direction card, the Wheel of Fortune. Very, very interesting. If you haven't seen it, please check out the weekly general, because this is going to clarify a lot of stuff. This week there may be some stuff, we haven't even got the High Priestess, right? This week something may come to light. You may have a realization of some sort when it comes to either your work colleagues or your partner, and you could be saying to yourself, right, you know what? I see now where I've fed into this pattern, this cycle that we go through. And this week it ends. I'm stepping off that merry-go-round. I'm going to allow the better things to come through here, but it has to be a conscious decision. And as a direction card, the Wheel of Fortune basically says it's not so much that you're relying on luck. It's more a case of you're saying to yourself, you know what? I know what I've done. I know what I bring to the table. I know where I'm at. That's good enough for me. I'm not going to try to control or work on something that doesn't belong to me. Your insight card with what's coming in, you've got the Hanged Man, right? Hanged Man represents Pisces, Pisces or Neptune, depending on the situation. The Wheel of Fortune represents Jupiter. The Death card represents Scorpio. So this is a very, very interesting and complex set of energies. But your Hanged Man, or the Oak King in this deck, always talks about going through the process of releasing something, of letting it go and saying, you know what, I'm going to step back from this. I'm going to allow things to happen as they will, as they must, as they should. And I'm going to let the process unfold. I'm going to reassess and reevaluate where I am at. Mercury retrograde. But beyond that, I'm not stepping into it. I don't need to, right? And the other thing with the Oak King or the Hanged Man is sometimes it represents really just hanging back and saying, you know what, as much as I want to help, as much as I want to correct, as much as I want to split hairs and tell you that you're fucking wrong, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, right? Because I have way too much good stuff going on for me in order to go in there and sully myself or my hand. All right, it's going to be an interesting week for you guys. I feel like you're going to really feel this one, and that the new moon in Scorpio that we had that was opposing Uranus in Taurus will really have started to bring up a lot of stuff for you guys. And so from here on in, it's all about change, all full steam ahead. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.